What's up, everyone? We've got another awesome episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Show. Today, we've got a very, very special guest. Introduce yourself, please, bro.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Spanko. I'm honored to be on. Thank you guys for having me.
Loving it. Love to have you here. So appreciative that you could come on as well, bro. So I guess let's get straight into it, bro. Give us a bit of an introduction into yourself for those of us who may not be as familiar with you. Come on, bro.
So I run a YouTube channel. I'm at about 11,000 subscribers at the moment, just under. My channel does a little bit of everything, but I guess you could say my main focus on the channel is just taking a bunch of rogue decks and trying to make them as competitive as possible. That's really something that I found a lot of passion for. And when I fell in love with the game, it was kind of like, yeah, everyone can play the meta decks, but if you look at a lot of meta decks, they're all cookie cutter. I was like, yo, how do I take something that people are not playing and then make it playable? So that's kind of what my channel is based off of, and that's a lot of what I do. But then I touch on a little bit of everything.
Lovely. Oh, sorry, Dan, you go first.
No, I was gonna say, I've been watching your content for a couple of years now, Spanko. So we are genuinely very happy to have you on here. One of the things that drew me to your channel was like you seem to have a lot going on, like in terms of like GX content, almost like GX based decks, but like just taking them to an actual.
Crazy.
Yeah, I was about to comment on the Jaden. But I can't think what they're called. But yeah, so is that how your relationship with Yu-Gi-Oh got started with like watching GX and stuff?
Yeah. So growing up, so I'm 26, so I'm not like super old, but I'm not super young either. I grew up in the Duel Monsters era, but like with the Duel Monsters era, I was really young, and I would just collect cards here and there, whatever is like available, whatever your parents bought you packs, you know how it is. But then really when I got into the GX era, I started watching the GX anime, and I just like, even when I was a kid, it was so funny because I would watch it and I'm like, man, this is just so well written. I know it sounds stupid because I'm young, but then I went back and I watched it back when I was older, and I was like, man, like I think the show is just really well like put together for a Yu-Gi-Oh anime. And so when I was a kid, growing up, like I'll never forget, and no matter how corny this sounds, I'll never forget like Flame Wingman, that first episode. I know it's like so like cliche and whatever, but for some reason, Flame Wingman, that card and that I guess in the anime it's a character, but like the card itself, like that got me into the game, and I was just kind of like, yo, this is so cool. And then I took a little bit, like everyone goes through the teenage years, doesn't want to play Yu-Gi-Oh, doesn't blah, blah. I took a little break, came back, and the way I got back into the game actually was I went into this game shop, and I thought it was like video games and stuff. So I walked into this game shop, and I look at their showcase. I'm like, yo, I used to have Yu-Gi-Oh cards when I was a kid. This is maybe when I was like maybe 18 or 19. I was like, yo, I used to have Yu-Gi-Oh cards when I was a kid. This is sick. And then there it is, like right in front of me is a Flame Wingman. I think it was like a super rare from like DB1 or DB2. I can't remember, something like that. And I'm like, yo, and it just all hit me. So I bought it right then and there. I didn't even know I was gonna start playing Yu-Gi-Oh, none of that. But I bought the Flame Wingman right there and then. I think I paid like $7. And then I went home and I could not stop thinking about Yu-Gi-Oh! And then I actually just started playing the game. So it's weird. It got me into the game when I was a kid, and then it got me back into the game when I grew up.
Wow, what a shot. I really like that, to be honest, because I feel like for a lot of people, like I don't know about, like I've said this before, like for me personally, like I wasn't really into Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff when I was younger, but I like that you've kind of had that journey of like experiencing it as a kid and like seeing your favorite card and that bring you back in. I think that definitely adds a lot to it. Like it makes it a lot cooler. So yeah, that's pretty awesome, bro. And then in terms of like your channel itself as well, what was like the motivation to, because it's one thing to have a passion for something and like play it and spend money. It's a whole nother thing to do the whole channel about it. Right?
Like,
yeah. What was like the thing that made you think I'm gonna do this? Like I'm gonna be into that YouTube game.
So after I got the card and all that, and I was like super into it, I was like, yo, this is so cool, whatever. I went online and I was like, do people even still play Yu-Gi-Oh? I didn't know that people actually still played the game. So I go online and I see two channels. It was Simply Unlucky's channel and Mega Capital G's channel. I'll never forget those guys. Mm-hmm. And I saw those two channels. Mega Capital G was a lot more of the history of the game, and then you had like Simply Unlucky, who did a lot of pack openings. So it was kind of the I didn't really get into the meta too much. It was just kind of like the history, pack openings, and I really got into that. And then I think at one point it just kind of hit me where I'm like, man, I want to do more than just play the game. I want to make content for it. One of my goals in my life is to open my own card shop one day. So like it really, I really fell in love with not just the card game, but everything surrounding it, the potential content, the community. I love the community. And so, yeah, for me, it's like this channel is more than just a channel for me. I really want my channel to become a community and eventually get me to having my own card shop or doing all these different things.
Okay, so I have a question for you then. But obviously you have an idea of what it's like to kind of start and like be a YouTuber. Dreams or expectations versus reality, how's that been? How are you finding it?
Not even close, bro. Your expectations when you start, I'll keep it 100, not even close.
Yeah.
Man, there are times, and this is just the reality and the cold hard truth about being a content creator, is there are times you put your like everything into a video and it does absolute trash. And it breaks your heart. It is heartbreaking, bro. But the thing I think about being a content creator, and something that for me personally that I love, is when that happens to me, I'm like, nah, bro, these guys are hating. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna be like, I don't care. I'm gonna make it so that one day those people that didn't watch my videos back when I thought they were nice, I'm gonna come back and say I made it. So it motivates me. But the cold hard truth is like, you can put so much effort into something and you can love it and you can put all your passion to it and then it doesn't hit. But on the flip side, I will say, there are times I put zero effort into videos and they pop off. I'll keep it 100. I'll be the first to say it. Like, there are times where I sit down at a locals and someone's like, yo, I have this cool deck. And I'm like, all right, say no more. I'll do a quick, like, 10-minute recording with my phone, just going like this. And then that'll hit like 30K views. And I'm like, yo, how? I spent 8 hours editing my last video for 1,000 views, and I went like this for 10 minutes and made 25K, 30K views. I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's a grind.
The one that comes to mind on your channel about that, there's a bit of a recurring character on your channel, right? He always has like the anti-meta decks.
So are you talking about Tony?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah. Tony, I like Tony.
Yeah. So you know what's funny is I actually linked up with him over the weekend. I linked up with him and he just was getting back to the game. He had some like not family stuff, but like personal stuff with work and all that stuff. So he took a little bit of a break. And I just linked up with him over the weekend. He was like, yo, how about we do another video? I was like, listen, bro, your videos bring in views, whatever it is, whatever you want, I'm down, I'm game. But yeah.
Yeah, because he started his own channel as well. Was that like off the back of like you're in his relationship, or did you encourage him to do it, or did he just sat down one day and says, you know, I'm gonna do a channel as well?
So I push all my friends to make channels. Like I have Tony who created his own channel. He did take a little bit of a break now, but he did say to me that he wants to start back up with that. I have my friend Andrew, one of my best friends growing up since grade 3. He goes by Alpha YGO on YouTube, and I pushed him to start his channel. Like for me, I don't know what it is, but I think content creation is just so important, not only for like yourself, but even for like other people. Like the fact that you're introducing to them to a game, like imagine, even if you're a smaller content creator, you don't have to be a big content creator, but if someone just happens to stop by your channel and watches a video and falls in love with the game, like you did that. So for me, I push all my friends to do it. But yeah, for Tony, he used to do all videos a lot on my channel, and then over time I'm like, man, you're doing all these videos on my channel, you could just do them on yours and make money off of it and enjoy it and have fun. And he was like, oh, I guess I could. So I set him up. I bought him a tripod just to thank him for everything he did for my channel. And again, like a lot of my growth, and I want to say this now, is a lot of my growth is also has happened because of like friends like Tony, friends like Andrew, who have been on my channel, who, you know, when I don't have a video, I'm like, yo guys, I really need a video for Friday. They're like, oh, we'll put together this profile for you, whatever it is. So without them, and without the viewers, without everyone, obviously I wouldn't be here. So just want to say a quick thank you now. But yeah, for Tony, it was just very much like he kind of backpacked off my channel, but it just worked out, and he ended up liking it too. So
that's pretty awesome. That was actually gonna be my next question in terms of kind of content creation and actually doing the work. Like, were you self-taught? Is it like some of these guys had skills and they had to teach you? Like, how was that journey getting to the point of doing it?
So self-taught. I didn't know anything. I have nobody who taught me how to make videos, how to edit videos. That was all me. And I know it sounds like, yo, that's crazy, like you did that all yourself, bare work, whatever. But then, you know, I thought about it, and if you really love something, and this could be anything, not just with content creation, but if you really love something, it doesn't feel like work. You know what I mean? Yeah. Me learning how to edit, me learning how to make thumbnails. Like I made my thumbnails all by myself. I did all my editing by myself, learning camera angles. I've never done that before. So, yeah, it was definitely an experiment. If you guys go look back at my first videos on the channel, it was definitely not great, but you get better. And then over time, you start investing a little bit more. I don't know if you guys, I don't think it's on screen, but I have like 4, or maybe I can put them on screen. I have like tripods and everything all over there. Like over time, you know, you start to build more equipment, your equipment gets better. And then, your content gets better. So yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's
so awesome, man.
I think that's such a positive outlook to have in terms of like, if I don't know how to do this, I'm just going to learn it. Because even if, like, you know, a day comes where for whatever reason you don't want to do a YouTube channel anymore, you have those skills for other jobs that, you know, it's never too late to learn something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually going to put the same question to Fabs and Andre. Famously, you guys have your own channels. I just work on the back of this one. Like, how do you guys like feel about stuff like that? Like, are you guys all self-taught, or did you guys just like know how to do it before?
I'll let Andre go first.
All right, so for myself, it is self-taught. I literally used to spend just hours watching YouTube. I was watching deck profiles, watching people just record, and then I had to just look at my PC. Like, my PC was trash. It's not the best now, but before, like, I couldn't even record myself without it like glitching and just like cutting out. So I had a lot of things that I needed to work around that I know that I couldn't have asked other people for help for because their equipment's better than mine. So I just had to find ways of working around it. But literally, YouTube taught me everything: editing, making thumbnails, looking at thumbnails and just thinking, yo, why is this guy got so many views and this guy hasn't got so many views? Is it the content? Is it the thumbnail? Is it this? Is that? Then the algorithm, I just all literally picked it up from YouTube. So, and then obviously just talking with other people as well. Just it kind of just added to the whole scenario kind of thing. So yeah.
Makes sense. What about you, Fabs?
Yeah, I'd say I'm quite similar. Like, during COVID, as I was locked in the house, I got made redundant from my job, and like, just, you know, you're just at home doing nothing. You know how it was during COVID, like,
Yeah.
nothing to do. And I was like, at that time, I don't know if I've ever shown you guys, but I used to make deck profiles, like, just myself. I love learning new decks. I had like even now, I think actually I have shown you guys before, where it's like I have a folder of just bare deck profiles for every single format. I'll make like hundreds of deck profiles, and then next format I'll start again. And so at one point I was like, I'll just start uploading them, because I always had ideas for deck profiles. And then in terms of like teaching yourself, there's this channel called Think Media, and the slogan on the channel was just like, just hit record. And that was kind of like a thing in my head, that he was like, just do it. He's like, doesn't matter if you're crap, doesn't matter if you don't even have a good idea. He's like, just do something. And so like that kind of pushed me into doing the channel thing. And I'd say I'm still learning now. I'd say like I'm still trying to even get to the point now, like, where I'm learning, like, trying to improve things. But yeah, no, definitely, it's definitely nice. It's definitely quite awesome. Well, one thing I really like is watching channels like yours, watching channels like Winters, like guys like you. It's like, the reason why it's so interesting to me is because I feel like when I look at the way like your channel, for example, has grown, and the way it's exactly like you said, like your earlier videos, like it was like your earlier videos obviously weren't as good as your videos now,
bro.
It's like your videos have definitely improved, and seeing that growth is so motivating for someone like me, where it's like, okay, no, like, he did it, like, it's actually possible. And then actually seeing how, like you said, like, your thumbnails are really strong, your actual content and the way you talk on camera is strong, even like you said again, like the angles, having the right angles, all of that kind of stuff. I find that really motivating. I feel that really interesting, and it's just fun to watch as well. Like, as you watch, it's like, hey, okay, he does this, I'm gonna try that in my next video and see how it works. So yeah, definitely, it's really, really fun, really cool, and it's always good having creators like you in space. Sorry,
no, like that's the thing that I love about this whole like content creator thing, is like you're always learning. No matter how much you think you know it, you really don't. Even me, like, I've been doing it for about 3 years now, almost. And even me, I'm like, bro, I still don't know how the algorithm works. No matter, and I the one thing I've learned is, no matter how much someone tells you they know how the algorithm works, they're lying. They're lying. No one knows how the algorithm works. It does not exist. But yeah, it's always just learning, and what can I do next? Or I see someone's video and I'm like, yo, I like this angle, I like this shot. Like, you try to recreate it. So yeah, it's all about it's like, I feel like it'll never plateau, you know. That like the learning curve, like, there's always going to be a curve, but there's always something to learn, and that's what I love about it myself.
Yeah, that's it. On the back of like sort of the algorithm talk, because one thing I'm sure people notice about your channel is like you push content in it. Like, what is it, like 5 videos, including shorts, like a week?
Yep.
Like, how did you get into the shorts game? Was that something? Because I think you were one of the first channels I saw to really kind of push that in the YouTube space. So talk to us about that.
All right, first of all, let me just tell you guys right now, I'm gassed that you guys recognize that I was one of the first people to do it. Yo, so
Recognize real, innit?
yeah, yo. So this is something that I always want to talk about. Sometimes I want to go on Twitter and just talk my shit, low key. Like sometimes I'm like, man, I did that first. I did it, but no. It's all love. But yeah, what happened was I have my fiance actually. Her brother does social media, not marketing, but he does social media management for some bigger, not celebrities per se, but like bigger names, influencers. And he was telling me how like TikTok blew up and YouTube was changing some of their like I don't want to say algorithm because I feel like it's not the right word, but they were changing the ways where they really wanted to push shorts. And so he was telling me, he's like, man, if you want to grow, and I feel like I've seen a lot of my growth this last year since I started pushing shorts. He's like, if you want to see growth, you got to be the first in the game. You can't be someone who's just hopping on the wave. Like you got to be the wave. So I found some editors actually, and I've been blessed enough where now I can afford to have editors for my shorts. My long form content I still do myself, but my shorts I have an editing team who does those. And basically, I went to a regionals, and I was like, man, you know what videos pop off on TikTok? The ones where people are asking random people they don't know. Like, you know, you seen those ones where they're like, yo, you want $1 or this mystery gift? Yo, you want this or that? And I'm like, man, no one has done that kind of content in the Yu-Gi-Oh scene. Milano does the skits and stuff, but no one does like what I like to call pedestrian content. It's just random people. You don't know them, they don't know you. And I feel like those are the best reactions. So at first, bro, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm always in front of a camera and I'm not nervous, but I was nervous. I was like, bro, how do I go to this random guy, talk to him in front of a camera and expect him not to call the cops on me and be like, bro, get this out of my face, you know? I'm like, how do I do that? But one of my boys is just kind of like, he just pushed me. He's like, bro, just do it. What's the worst that can happen? They tell you to cut to get off, like, or to get them off camera. You just go next and they'll cut it out. I'm like, okay, I guess that's true. So I did that. So I went to a regional event and I filmed like 15 shorts and I sent it to my editing team and we had a plan. We strategized and we said, yo, February 1st, 2023, we're going to upload Monday to Friday. Every single day, we're going to have a short. And yeah, that's what I do. So literally right now, like I went to a regional the other day. I think I have 15 videos that they're editing right now. And in that meantime, where they're editing those 15 videos, I'm trying to create other videos. And I'm just really hard focused on the shorts game right now. I think what I noticed myself is that I don't care about so much the channel growing right away, but I feel like you guys are would know this as well. If you think about any influencer, any content creator, TikToker, YouTube Shorts creator, whatever, when you see their face over and over and over again, even if you've never actually watched their channel, you know who they are, right? 100%. So that was kind of what my goal was. My goal was like, bro, I don't care if you're subscribed or not subscribed. I want you to see my face every single time you scroll through your shorts. My face has to pop up. And then I guess it's led to growth. So I think shorts is low-key a way to go. But yeah, I've just been pushing content, bro. I've been grinding that. I filmed 2 today, actually, just before this.
I was gonna ask, where'd you get your inspiration for your ideas? Because I've been watching, I think you do like 90-second, 60-second deck profiles, and I swear, like that is one of the most addicting things I've been watching. It's like, all right, I'm just getting all the cards that I need, and if I miss some, I'll just watch it again, because it's literally gonna cost me a couple of minutes of my time, but I get everything that I need. So like, where do you get the ideas for those kind of like just things like that, basically?
So the deck profiles one specifically, I just kind of made up on my own. I don't think I took that from anyone, because what I would get in my longer form videos was, let's say I do a hero deck profile, right? And it would be like a 10-minute long video. People would just hit me in the comment section and be like, yo, just send us, like, put the deck list here. And I realized, I'm like, man, as a creator, I want you to watch my videos. But then so I thought about it and I was like, how can I shorten this and condense it as much as possible, where you still watch the full video, but you don't have to watch a 10-minute video? So that's where the deck profiles came from. In terms of a lot of like my pedestrian content that I was talking about earlier, it was literally just what's popular and what's trending, and then how do I translate that into Yu-Gi-Oh? And I think I've been one of the pioneers and one of the first people to do that, where I'm like, yo, this is popular in like, you know, like pop culture, or this is popular in Pokemon, or this is popular in another game. How can I take that and put it into Yu-Gi-Oh? And then the other day, listen, Team Sam, I love you, but the other day I saw Team Sam post a short. I don't know if you guys follow Team Sam, but but he posted a short where he was like, "Yo, name these cards for $100 or like $20 on mystery." I was like, "Bro, I know you watched my videos. I know that was me. I know that was me. I was the first one."
Isn't he local to you?
He's local to me. Yeah, we know each other. We're friends. No, we're good. We're friends. I haven't seen him in a while. I mean, he's too big now to the point where he doesn't have time to meet with people. Like the guy's always grinding, always filming, and he's not filming, bro. The guy's on vacation all the time. I don't know if you guys follow him on Instagram. That guy's always in Hawaii or something, bro. Must be nice though. One day I'll get there.
It must be nice.
But no. He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy in real life. But it's cool because when I see guys like Sam doing that kind of stuff, right, it makes me feel like, yo, I did that. Like that was the content that I created, and people thought it was good enough. Someone at Team Sam's level, with 800K subscribers, thought it was good enough to create for his own channel. And so I was like,
Which in naturally, like if that's something that pops off with him being as big as he is, that's going to push the algorithm, like if it does well, to your channel. So it's a win-win.
Yeah,
it is. The only loss in it though is I got this comment once, and I actually got a little bit annoyed, but it was whatever. But I got this comment once where someone commented on one of my old shorts from, I think it was like a month or 2 months ago, and they were like, "Yo, you're just copying Team Sam's content." And I can see why that happens because he's bigger, so they probably saw his first, and then like you said, the algorithm was like, "Oh, they like this. Let's push him to Spanko's channel." The problem is he probably saw Sam's video before he saw mine. So then when it comes to me, they're like, "Oh, you're copying Sam, you're copying Sam." And listen, brother, I'm just saying he's copying me. But no, it's all love. It's all love. But it is something that I know, like, that's going to be the downfall of it. But overall, I think it's going to be a win.
Yeah. And I'd say as well, like, definitely with regards to like your shorts content as well, with what you're saying initially about you just wanting people to see you. That's literally how it was, like with shorts, for example. Like I don't even know how I started watching shorts, but I didn't take them seriously when they first came out. Like, you know how I was like, you're like, "Oh, I watch YouTube, I don't really watch shorts." But then at some point I just started scrolling through, and it's literally how you said, your shorts content was the first I saw. I don't think I saw like anyone even now, to be honest. Not that many YouTubers are doing it, and people are like trying to get into it, but yours was definitely, and it's still in my head now. If I think of Yu-Gi-Oh creators that do shorts, it's literally like, for me, it's just you and Team APS, for example. Those are only two that I can
Team APS does it well.
I think like there is a thing about Yu-Gi-Oh, like YouTube and shorts, and I'm not hating on anyone who does these, by the way, because it's a grind that clearly pays off. But it's just like there's like 5 topics, like new player returns to Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever, and it's like 7 of the same video, and it's just like,
I mean, part of the who was it? One of our guests was talking about this, and I can't remember. Where one difficulty in the Yu-Gi-Oh space is that it almost feels like kind of solved in a way, where it's like it's hard to come up with new ideas sometimes. And so, for example, Spanko, like coming up with the idea of like actually talking, like doing the, I really like that name, by the way, pedestrian content. I
don't know what else to call it. I don't know what else to call it.
It's a solid name. I'm going to use it too. But it's like, for example, even that innovation is quite big. So I feel like that's why that's why, because same, if I think of like the random ones that I'll see, they're very similar most of the time. There's not that many different.
And something, and again, no hate into everyone and to anyone, but something that I see a lot as well is when content creators make shorts, they'll just put like pop-ups of cards on the screen or things like that. And don't get me wrong, I don't think that's bad content per se, but my goal wasn't to just put out content. My goal was like, it was kind of like the Andrew Tate model. Like, yo, if you hate, like, listen, I don't want to get in an Andrew Tate debate, but it was the Andrew Tate model, like where it's like, yo, everyone saw his face over and over and over, and it didn't matter who you are, you knew who Andrew Tate was. And that was kind of like my mindset with it, where I'm like, bro, I don't know, bro, there's people who don't even play Yu-Gi-Oh and they've seen me on YouTube because of the shorts. They're like, "Oh, I don't even play Yu-Gi-Oh, but I've seen you doing these like random pedestrian shorts," and it's cool because that niche, that kind of style is not a Yu-Gi-Oh style. It's like it's outside of Yu-Gi-Oh that I brought in. But what's nice is it's pushing it to people outside of Yu-Gi-Oh now, because the algorithm might think, "Oh, these people like pedestrian shorts. This guy does pedestrian shorts," even though it has nothing to do with what they're watching, right?
Yeah, sure. And linked to that as well, it's one of the best ways to generate really loyal subscribers. Because, for example, it's like you said, if I'm not interested in Yu-Gi-Oh at all, and then the first content I see is like a pedestrian short with you, and then I get into Yu-Gi-Oh, you're the person I'm going to go to. Because like I don't even who else would I even look for? Like for example, if I use the example of Pokemon, if I ever have any interest in Pokemon, it's going to be Tatsun that I go to. Because I don't know any Pokemon creators. I don't even know what to search. I'll just type in Tatsun Pokemon, and because I trust him, I know how he is in the Yu-Gi-Oh space. Similarly with you, so I'm 100% sure that there's a non-zero amount of people who weren't interested in Yu-Gi-Oh or saw one of your shorts or something. And it's like okay, and then now Spanko's the guy I follow for content. So yeah, definitely.
It's cool. It's different, but it's cool.
Yeah, definitely. But I wanna bring up a topic, guys. A really interesting thing that happened today, and get everyone's opinions on it. So,
hey, before you start this, Fabs, I do want to say a couple of things. First thing I want to say, I read this as it unfolded at about 6:30 this morning in the gym. So it's been like I've been deep in this rabbit hole. And
wait. Do I know what's going on here? What's going on?
Probably. Do you know about the Doodle drama?
The Doodle drama? No, I just got.
You know what, Fabs? Tee off.
Okay. Okay. I'm actually gonna read out what's happened. Cali Effect has some people who edit for him, and one of them is called Doodle Plays. And last night, they posted a bunch of tweets basically exposing their supposed experiences with Cali Effect. So they said basically they started editing with him, and they were editing from December 2022 to June 2023. At first, it was a good start. Now, Doodle didn't have an experience doing editing work when they first started. Now, if you know Cali, and Cali even mentioned on our show, Cali has quite a few editors. He does go through editors quite a bit. And so Doodle did say that it was a bit of a red flag to them, but they were just like, whatever. Now, they hadn't started video editing, but supposedly they're really good at learning. And so Cali was like, okay, you know what? I'll teach you how to edit. I'll pay you $10 for video. And it'll be 3 videos a week. And then... Oh, sorry,
this was on the side channel of the Cali Effects as well. This was the main channel.
On one of his side channels as well.
Wait.
So he...
I don't mean to cut you off, but if I keep looking away, I just found it on Twitter, so I'm going through it real quick. Yo, keep going though.
Yeah, so Doodle was like, Cali was like to Doodle, you'll edit from one of my side channels. You'll be doing 3 videos a week, $10 each. After a while, you'll move up to $15 each, $15 a video. Now, Doodle said that they weren't informed when they made this deal with Cali that this would be kind of 1 to 2 hour long clips from Cali's live streams. There'll be dead space, and anyone who's edited a video knows that a video you might have like a 2 or 3 hours B-roll or whatever that you need to shorten down to 10 minutes. That's a lot of work because you need to watch the whole thing, go back, this, that. So it's quite a lot. So Doodle apparently was feeling quite overwhelmed, doing a lot. And also Cali would keep coming to Doodle and asking for advice as well, because it started off with Doodle not understanding how to edit well, but within a few months, Doodle really knew what they were doing well. Cali was even asking for help. And so Cali increased their pay up to $20 to $30 a video, and also put Doodle as the main editor for their main channel, for Cali's main channel. So they carried on going. Doodle said apparently as well, Cali's growth in his videos moved from like 1 mil a month to like 2 to 2.6 mil a month. So his channel was obviously getting bigger and bigger. And the work relationship was apparently a little bit hostile, a little bit abusive, in that Cali was just quite blunt with them. And also he wouldn't always talk to them. So like Doodle would sometimes get instructions through Cali's wife or through TJ, who's a friend of Cali's. Then about 6 months in, Doodle was like, you know what, it's not for me. And they didn't really want to do it. They don't want to be involved in the channel anymore. So they walk away from this. Supposedly Cali's content started to tank hard. Sure. I don't think that's actually true. But anyway, yeah. And so Doodle said, now the thing is, when you're an editor online, it's hard to, like, for example, if you look at the Yu-Gi-Oh creators in the space, a significant amount of the big YouTubers get edited by small people, but you wouldn't know. So for example, Vlad edits quite a few people. Crush Cards edit quite a few people, but you don't know that. And so if you're an editor and you don't have your own major channel, it's hard to have your work. It's hard to have a portfolio of your work because no one knows it's yours. And so Doodle went on the site, and they on this site, I don't know what site it is, but you can essentially tag people's videos and say, I edited this, I edited this, I edited this.
Like a portfolio thing, right?
Exactly. Now on this site, for it to say that no, you didn't edit it, that person has to actively say no, you didn't edit it. And apparently Cali rejected all of the videos that Doodle had tried to claim, which is obviously a bit of a problem as an editor. So that's their experience, and so they put this on Facebook to firstly say that they've been underpaid and mistreated by Cali, and secondly, obviously, that they're rejecting Cali's rejecting their claims to the content. Now, Cali did do a live stream yesterday, apparently answering some of this, but he's taken the VOD down because I think there was some personal information in it. I don't think he's responded other than that since today. But yeah, that's the whole story, guys. So what do we think? What do we think?
It's. I do want to preface this. Us three, obviously, I don't know about you, Spanko, but we have spoken with Cali, and we do have an overall positive opinion on him.
He was a horrible human being, terrible human being.
When he came on the show, we had a good relationship with him. So obviously, if Cali's watching this, I don't want him to think that we're gunning for him or anything like that, because that's not the case. We're just looking at facts that are in front of us. So I just wanted to preface that because we're not a drama channel. But I do think that the whole situation is a bit mad. Like, the thing that I don't understand is why Cali rejected the portfolio, right? That seems really weird.
I that's the only part of the story that, for me, I can almost I can't justify that part. Everything else I can be like, I really want to hear Cali's side first before I have a judgment. That's the only part that I'm like, that's a bit strange.
Yeah, which is leading me to definitely be more on the side of Doodle here. We've spoken to editors on this podcast, and I've spoken to people who edit for videos outside of YouTube, and it is a grind. And if you're an editor, make sure that you're getting your money's worth. Really.
So, Go ahead. Okay, yeah. Real quick. This is my first time hearing about it. I'm literally going through Twitter right now, reading it up, getting some knowledge on it. So I don't want to go too much in depth because I don't want to say anything incorrect or false information or anything. But let me start this off with a little bit of a joke here, just to make it a little bit more friendly. But if I could pay my editors $10 a video, I would be living. I would be living at $10 an hour. Let me just tell you that much. I pay more for that for shorts. So just looking at this here, I obviously getting Cali's side would probably be a good thing. However, I will say, not to defend Cali, not to defend Doodle, I don't want to be on either side right now, just because I don't know the entire story. But I will say, from my experience with my editors, is I do have a contractual agreement with them. So I have an editing team who basically have broken down the payments, the structure, what my expectation of them is, what their expectation of me is. And I think, obviously, when you're just starting to be an editor, when you're really excited, because especially someone like Cali Effect who's a little bit bigger, maybe you're not thinking I should probably sign a contract or anything like that. Yeah. But I think for everyone's knowledge, just in whatever you're doing, if it's editing or any kind of work, I feel like an agreement that is signed or something that you have written to begin with is, I think, really important when it comes to that stuff. Because my editors, I'll keep it 100. My editors hold me accountable, and I try to hold them accountable as well. But it's all love, right? Because we know, hey, I'm editing for you because I know your channel is gonna blow up if I continue to edit for you. And for me, I know I need you guys because you guys are my editors, because I need my videos to go out. So it's kind of that mutual relationship. And from just at first glance here, what I'm seeing, it doesn't feel like the relationship between Cali and Doodle was mutual. Just at first, maybe they both had different expectations and it wasn't communicated properly. But yeah, that's really all I want to say. I just want to say, in terms of this kind of stuff, I feel like you really have to set from the beginning. What do you expect? What do I expect? How are we gonna make it work? So
that's
you kind of.
Yeah, go on, Dan.
No, I was just gonna say, Spanky, you really kind of hit the nail on the head, because a lot of my friends do freelance work for content creators, artists, musicians, things like that, and they are self-employed, and I hear a lot about having to have the contracts drawn up because this is their income at the end of the day. And I think it's a really good point, like you said, when you're a smaller creator starting out, it's very easy to sort of not take that into account. But if anything else, please just take away from this that if you're getting paid for work, you better be getting invoices and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's a two-way relationship. There should be two people's onus on that. But sorry, Andre, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of along the same lines. I think Doddle went on. Is it Doddle? Doodle?
Doodle.
Doodle. That was it. He kind of went into this unknowingly. And because of that, I'm not gonna say he definitely didn't get taken advantage of because he was being paid, but that ignorance is a reason behind the way he's feeling, because he didn't know any better. He was happy initially, so then for me, $10 a video, it might seem low, but what value are you basing it on? You're saying that I'm accepting this $10 a video. If at the start he said $10 isn't enough, then I could understand, but initially there was no problem, and he was happy to produce videos, and then he got put onto the main channel and got a rise, which if that was the case, then that was another point at which he could have potentially negotiated and say, look, this is time consuming, it's gonna cost me, it takes this much time out of my day, so could I look to earn this much money for doing these amount of videos? Do you get what I mean? That was another point that he could do that. So he's accepted twice without no contractual obligation, without nothing being signed or any kind of discussion, 2 forms of interaction, and he's initially been happy with it. Now he's within his rights to leave, whatever, but then you can't turn around and complain for 2 instances which you potentially could have had a better input, or at least seek guidance from like outside sources to say, look, what should I be getting paid? Because what's to say $10 wasn't enough? It could have been more than enough for what he was doing. It might have been a little bit low. Do you know what I mean? It just, if he's got no bar to gauge it on, that's where I was coming with it. So
I agree with that. My only caveat there is, I suppose, it is that this was Doodle's first time doing editing or something like that. Exactly. So there might have been a bit of naivete there. But overall, yeah, I don't think that's an unfair statement at all.
So just to piggyback on what Jimothy said, because that's actually where I stand. And okay, so like I said, I still want to hear Cali's effects before I find judgment. But honestly, it sounds really bad. I don't have much sympathy for Doodle just based on what's been said, and it's for a couple of reasons. $10 for editing is so comically low. Like, genuinely, and the reason why I'm so aware of this is because it was a year and a half ago. I was with my wife in Cyprus, and I was saying to myself, I remember it so clearly. I was like, I really need an editor. And so I remember going on Fiverr, and I interviewed something like 20-30 people for videos, and literally to have a 5 to 10 minute video edited at the quality of Cali's video, literally you'd be spending minimum like 100. If someone had said 100 to me, I would have thought that was a good price. So $10 is so comically low that it's like, it's not even, there's not even a frame of reference. So for example, and this is where I really agree with Andre on the whole, they were naive going into it, and that's why I don't have sympathy. It's like, no employer is going to pay you well. Cali Effect is a business. Cali is a person, but Cali is a business. Businesses don't pay you well. One of the piece of advice I give to people all the time about work is that if you want to rise from your job, get a new job. Your job is not going to pay you more for doing the same job. They never will, because they've got you already. Why would they? They have no incentive to. And so when you tell me that you started off, Cali said he's going to pay you $10 an hour, and you said yes, I'm already with red flags. It's like, but you said yes though. You can't now a year say it was underpaid. He's underpaying you. You said yes.
Yeah, not to cut you off, but I agree with everything you're saying, and trust me, from someone who has editors, like, I wish I was paying $10 a video, bro. I'd be livid. Yeah. But yeah, and I don't want to say, and you have a great point where you say Cali is a business, and Cali really wants to like, he values like his videos, and he wants to make as much money as possible, right? But I will say the one caveat here as well is Cali was also taking a chance with Doodle. He was taking a risk. Obviously, Doodle clearly, I mean, from what I understood, is he didn't really know how to edit at first. And so it is kind of like what you said. It's I think the onus is definitely on both of them for sure. Mm-hmm. But I mean, Cali, of course, like, he's going out of his way to be like, I'm going to take a risk on you. I'm going to take a chance on you. And he did offer him more pay if he started to do well. Which Cali did follow up with. Like, he did follow through with that, right? He did say, hey, I'm going to pay you 20 to 30, and he paid him 20 to 30. However, on the other side of things, I feel like Cali has definitely talked to other editors in the past, and he probably knows that's really low.
Afterwards, he probably was like, oh, I just got the best deal ever. I'm sure you felt great.
Right? And it's not even, and as a business, I understand it, right? But yeah, on Doodle's side as well, like Jimothy said, like Andre said, like, you really have to know what you're getting yourself into. If I'm starting a business, I really need to know what the market is, right? I can't start a business, I can't get into a partnership with someone and not know the market, right? So it definitely goes both ways.
Yeah. And so that's where, for me, it's like, again, it's like, and then not only that, but then you stayed for 6 months. So this is the other problem as well. Like, if I'm in a job and I don't know if this is Doodle's only source of income, but I don't think that matters that much. If you're in a job and you genuinely feel like, and again, $10 a video is so low. Like, it can't be his only job, because I don't know how you survive on $120 a month in any country. I don't know, maybe if you live in like Zimbabwe or something. But beyond that, it's not a reasonable amount of money. So it can't be his only job. So I'm saying I don't actually know Doodle's gender. So sorry, apologies if I'm misgendering you. But it can't be your only job, and so you have the ability to kind of step away and say, after like, if this is really such a problem, after like 1-2 months max, it should be like, look, Cali, more money or I'm gone. But you didn't do that, which says to me that you were happy. What I would think is that it probably means that after 4 or 5 months and you realized I'm getting bumped, now you kind of feel like I want that money from before, and then that's when you've turned around and said, I feel like I'm getting bumped. But again, it's too late. And the funny thing is, I don't actually think Cali had his best interest. I'm treating Cali like how I would treat my employer. And I don't believe my employer has my best interest at heart. Their goal is to make money. And so, of course, they're going to take any advantage of me if they can. So, yes, you got taken advantage of, but it's your fault. I'm sorry. That's genuinely how I feel. Like, if Doodle was like my sibling or my friend and then came to me and told the story, I'll be livid at them. I'll be like, what nonsense? How could you let this happen? Why don't you do research? Of course he's gonna bump you. Why wouldn't he bump you? So we'll see Cali's side. So again, just kind of a summary, because I feel like I've gotten this on. I feel like Cali is definitely not in the moral high ground, but of course he's not. And I think Doodle should have done more research, because people are going to bump you. It's a cold world out there, especially if you're editor.
It's just business, and I think he just fell on the wrong side of it. I mean, I've worked for a few agencies myself in my time, and I've been around the block in terms of work. And I got to work one day, and the agency said to me, "I'm going to pay you this set amount of money," and I picked up my lunchbox and went home. And that was the end. That was the end of my shift, and that was the end of my relationship with that agency, and I left. And they knew they lost, because I was quite a rare commodity. You know what I mean? And I signed up with another agency and got almost like double the pay. It was just business. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't angry at anybody. It was just business, and they was happy to pay me that until they realized that I could get more. Then they was trying to match my wage. Do you know what I mean? So it is what it is. You just got to do due diligence, basically. So
I don't think we've mentioned this yet, and I do think it is worth mentioning before we move on. I have seen like some discourse about this. Doodle has a condition which I believe is called dissociative identity disorder, which is why a lot of their tweets are in the third person. I don't know a lot about this disorder. I'm not going to pretend to. I have seen people online saying that this may be Cali taking advantage. For what it's worth, I don't think that comes into it, but I do suppose it is something that has to be factored in if you're looking at it from all sides. But I'm leaning towards I don't believe that would be a contributing factor. I just think that's worth mentioning because we haven't already.
I'll be right. I don't even think it's relevant. That's why I didn't mention it. I think it's
no, fair enough.
Yeah, like I feel like Cali must have known I think Doodle said it in the first conversation.
Yeah. No, I agree as well. But the only reason I bring it up is because I have seen people using this discourse, and I don't believe that the two things marry up at all, in my opinion. But it's worth mentioning, I guess. But let's move on to some lighter conversation. Spanko, going back to the GX talk. So I was going to ask you about your Flame Wingman profiles, but like what the genesis behind them was. But you've already kind of told us, the lore behind Spanko and Flame Wingman. I asked this to a lot of our guests. Is there ever a profile for a deck that you've made and you just either weren't feeling it and you were just like, I really wish that I hadn't, like I just wasn't interested in the deck? Or conversely, has there ever been a profile you made that you was like, I either like created this deck or like I've solved it and like I'm super happy with this?
Damn, that's a great question. There has definitely been a few decks. I don't know off the top of my head, but there have definitely been a few decks where I made a video. And the reason I made the decks, and I'll keep it real, is because either they just came off the ban list or something happened, and I knew this is the time to make content for this deck.
The algorithm, right?
Yeah, right. If a deck like Striker gets engaged back to 2, at least I know Striker. But if a deck like Striker gets engaged back to 2, I know everyone's looking for Striker profiles. So I can't remember any off the top of my head just right now. But there's definitely been decks that I look back at, and there's videos that I've looked back at in the past, and like, why did I even do this? Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, I'm just talking. On the other hand, though, I don't think there's any decks I want to say I've solved. However, I feel pretty strongly about Dino, and I think I'm one of the better Dino players. I feel like part of my what's the word I'm thinking of? A part of my personality on YouTube and like when people see me at events and stuff is they always talk about Dino. And that's something that I don't want to say I've solved, but I definitely think that's if I'm known for a deck, that would be what the deck would be. Which is funny because I'm like a big hero guy, but if I'm being honest, like I don't think the deck's very good. It is what it is. But yeah. I think that's what it is. I'm really trying hard to think of a deck that I just did that I'm like, oh, I hate this. You know what? Yo, you guys keep talking. I'm gonna quickly look through my videos.
All right. Whilst you're looking for your videos and thinking, plot twist. What is your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card?
The card is Flame Wingman.
Okay,
in terms of meta or in terms of like general?
Just generally.
So yeah, Flame Wingman definitely is my favorite card just because of like the history that I have with it. But in terms of meta, I don't really have, or in terms of the actual game, because let's be honest, Flame Wingman is never really good. But in terms of the game, I don't think I have a favorite card. One of my favorite decks of all time has to be ABC. So ABC came out around the time when I first started playing Yu-Gi-Oh again. I think it was the Pepe format, but Pepe got slapped.
2016, right?
Yeah, because I came back like 2015. And then I remember like being trash at the game, and I think like 6 months into me playing, ABC had come out, and I was really dedicated on getting better as a player, etc. And then and then I got my first stop with ABC, and so to this day that deck has like a special place in my heart.
That's fair. ABC is a good one. That's definitely I think it's one of the fan favorites as well. Quite a few people are.
I love that deck, man. I love that deck. I wish it was good.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like that deck is like always like on the cusp of being kind of like a.
It is.
Yeah, like because it's got so many mechanics about it for its time that were just ahead of the game, and then there's like a couple of like weird bricky things about it. So
now you have stuff like Regulus and stuff as well, which is kind of spicy in the deck. But it just always feels like it's missing something. I don't know why, but it always feels like it's missing something.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I don't know. I like ABC, but it just ain't. It just ain't Carlin, do you know what I mean?
You know what I've noticed is everyone has different play styles. I really like mid-range play styles. So even in formats where mid-range sucks, like I love playing mid-range stuff. But then I have people who love playing control. Some people like playing full combo kind of decks, like one card combo decks. So it's a lot of play styles. Oh, by the way, quickly, just to answer you guys' question, one deck that I did that I absolutely had no idea what I was talking about, but I did this deck profile just because it was like the new thing, was Salamangreat. So when Salad came out,
wow,
bro, when I tell you guys, I had the cards, I put it together, and when I explained it, I think I was just trying my best to explain what the cards did. But like if I'm watching my opponent playing it, I know exactly what my opponent's gonna do. But I cannot play that deck for the life of me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you guys have a deck that's like that for you guys. But for me, like if I'm watching Salad play, I know what their next move is. Okay, they're gonna do this. This is what they have in hand. This is blah 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 blah. If they go this line, it's because they have this. I know exactly what they want to do. You put the cards in my hand, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no clue. I go Balings effect. Okay, I don't know what now. Like that's Salad for me.
That's kind of like how I feel when I try and play both. So I know two players, one who's amazing at Salad, one who's amazing at Striker. And whenever I play either of those decks, they feel like crap. Like I don't know if I'm doing the thing wrong. It's like I know someone Ray and oh no, she doesn't do anything. Like yeah, like then it's like my friend. Like literally, I think I was testing with him. Yes, we were testing for Euros. I was testing with him just yesterday. He rattled me with flipping Sky Strikers. I was playing like Kashtira, and he just rattled me. And I was like, I don't get how I lost. Like I was winning as well. I was full of winning at one point, then I just lost. And it's like it's the same with my mate that plays Salad as well. And yeah, it's definitely like in my hands, them decks are trash. But
it's weird because you watch them play and you're like, this deck is crazy. You put it in your hands and you're like, yo, what does striker cards even do other than engage? Like, what do striker cards do? How does this deck win? Like, I don't understand.
100%. Yeah, definitely.
It is actually mad how like Andre, have you got a deck like that?
No, I was just listening to you about salad. And it's funny you say that. Salad's one of the reasons why I tended to shy away from meta decks, because I got my free Gazelle at the point probably about 3 days before the ban list dropped, and Gazelle was the one. And it broke my heart. So I was like, forget this. Yu-Gi-Oh's dead. I'm just gonna go and just do something random. I was fuming.
Yo, listen. I know I'm on you guys' podcast, but I want to ask you guys a question because because you brought that up. What deck did that ever happen to any of you guys? Because that happened to me with Pepe with like Performapal. I remember I was like, man, this was right before ABC format. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna get good. I'm gonna play meta. I spent like $300 on that deck. Bro, a week later, the deck gets neutered. And I'm like, all right, man, I'm never playing meta again. So I just spent $300 on what?
So that happened to me, and guess this is how angry I was. Guess what deck I took to locals after that ban list? Crawlers. I took Crawlers to locals, and I got absolutely obliterated. But I was like, you can't hit this deck, and I think I was talking to myself. And that's how angry I was. I was like, you're not gonna get me now. I'm like, well, you just lost. I got X4 at locals playing Crawlers, and everyone's smiling at me as I'm picking up the cards after 20 minutes. So yeah, that was a rough experience.
That was funny.
I don't think I've ever had anything that's been like that fast. I think I've maybe like. I guess it's a similar thing. I bought Emancipator right when Secret Slayers came out, and obviously we were in COVID. Locals had just started to roll up, and I was like, I'm really excited. I've been sitting here like on my own, like learning these Emancipator combos, coming up with all the lines. Like I can't wait to go to locals and smash them. And then the day before I was meant to go to the first locals after COVID, the ban list dropped and Blood Dragon got banned, and I was fucking raging.
Bro, yeah. It's so sad, bro.
Yeah.
I think it made it worse for me though with that, because I'd been playing the deck for 4 months just on my own.
Yeah, Emancipator players never got to really enjoy. Like,
Never, bro, never.
No, that's never. I wouldn't say I've ever had especially because until about 5-6 months ago, I didn't really play meta at all, so it's never really happened to me. The closest to that. Well, actually, okay, kind of. I played meta for like 2 months in Lyrillus Tri-Brigade format, because that deck was just... I used to always love Lyrillus back in the day.
That's fun.
Then, but then I stopped playing meta after that. Then I started playing meta again, probably when Circular came out. That was when when Circular came out, it was meta. But like the closest to that is... I've told the story in the podcast before. Basically, when I pre-ordered the Ishizu cards, 200 quid. And then a week later, they were 50 quid. And that was... And then the funny thing is, I didn't play... I had full tier core from day one, and I just never played it. Yeah. Oh no, I played it at one locals, and then never played it again. And then I kept it until after the pen. Like, if I'm not mistaken, my tier deck is somewhere here in one of these decks. It's just chilling. So yeah.
Fab's my don in it, but that's a colossal L.
The Ishizu one really upset me, because I never pre-order cards, because I'm always like, I won't gamble. Like, I don't want to gamble and blah blah. I'll just wait till they come out. And then my mate was like, no, buy them. They're gonna be so OP. You have to. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. Then I bought them 200 quid on eBay. They came, and then literally, it's like I remember turning up to locals and like everyone just had it. And then like a week, and then it's like I remember someone showing me on Facebook as well, like, oh, someone's selling it for like 140 pounds. In my head, obviously, I'm burning already because I pre-ordered for 200 quid. and then I think later at cafe, we have locals and then we have another locals afterwards. Someone's like, oh, someone's selling it for like 100, and then like a week later, it's like 50 pounds on Trading Group. And I was like, oh, this is BS, man.
I think that's worse than when your deck gets hit right after the ban list.
100%.
Gonna get the money back. The cards are just chilling. It's like, and the worst thing as well is everyone had a tier, so I'm not special. Like, it's not like I'm winning locals with it. It's just bare tier mirrors. Oh that was a neg.
Yeah. What about you, Spanko? Have you ever had like other than the Pepe thing? Have you ever had like a big neg or?
The Pepe thing was the one where I swore to myself I'll never do that again. After Pepe, I was like, I'm never buying meta again, bro. It's a joke. I think this is a separate, I guess, thing, but it falls into the same kind of overall discussion. I remember when Ulti Dark Laws were out. This was in 2016 or 2017. I think it's maybe 2016. Ulti Dark Laws, and I'm a hero guy, right? So when Dark Law came out as an ulti, I was like, this is crazy. And the guy wanted to sell me some random guy at a regional, I think, wanted to sell me a playset for I think $160 or $60-ish. So I don't know the conversion. I don't know if someone wants to quickly
That's what I'm
find
doing
out.
right now.
Yeah.
So that is £120.
All right, so £120. So it was $160, and I was like, bro, like, you know, as Dark Law at the time, like Hero sucked. Like Hero's not a good deck. And I'm like, bro, Ulti Dark Law, I'm not paying 160 for a playset. Like, I'll pay you 120, 130 max, that kind of thing, whatever. And they were like, nah. Bro, today, a playset, by the way. Today, a single Dark Law is $500.
Wow.
A single, I don't know how it is in Europe because I know the market is a little bit different for you guys.
It's pretty similar.
But a single Ulti Dark Law, the lowest verified I saw on TCG Player, I know you guys use Card Market, but on TCG Player, was $480, something like that the other day. And I thought about it, and I'm like, bro, I could, for $480, I could have 3 playsets. I could have a page of Ulti Dark Laws, and that's a single one today.
Freaking heck.
Yeah, Heroes is just one of them decks that is just max rarity, and it must be so expensive.
So now I buy everything max rarity when it comes out. DPE, I bought Starlight when it came out. Wake Up, I bought CR when it came out because I already know in 2 years, in 2 years, I'm gonna regret not having it. So as soon as they came out, I'm like, I'm just gonna buy them. I don't care.
Yeah, the hero market's weird, and it's like its own little side quest.
Yeah, but hero players have
really
bare
is.
money, man. All the hero players are rich. That's why.
Bare money.
Yeah. There's a hero. Who was his name? Terrence out of locals, and this guy, he'll just be spending silly amounts on cards, and I'm just like, what the heck, like, and like not in a rude way, but like, it's not like it's like the next like dominating top tier deck.
Oh no, it's trash. Yo, listen. I'll keep it 100 with you guys. I have. Let me see if I can pull it out for you guys. I have an ulti first Shining Flare Wingman, and the Shining Flare Wingman ulti first. Sorry, I just have all my binders here. An ulti first Shining Flare Wingman is $1,800 near mint.
My gosh.
So I don't know if the camera catches it. Maybe the lighting. Okay, so this is like $1,800, and I'm sitting here, and I traded / paid for this. It was a trade and cash. I traded / paid for this last year at Nationals, and it literally sits in this binder. It has done nothing for me in the last year, and just spent $1,800 on what for a shiny card.
Yeah, see, this is why the hero market's mad. They're all rich, bro.
It's mad. It's mad, bro. It's not.
Smack goes out here with like his max rarity hero deck and his 19 editors. Like,
oh my god,
19 editors sitting at table 500 though. Because you know we're not going nowhere with hero, bro. We're not going nowhere. At least I can flex it.
To be fair, if I'm not mistaken, what was it? An event recently. There was a hero player. One of the YCSs recently. The hero player bubbled. I don't know which one it was.
no, I do remember seeing it.
Yeah, he's better than me. He's better than me, bro. That'll never be me. I'm with the crawler players at table 500. Sorry, Dre.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to like explain Yu-Gi-Oh to a non-Yu-Gi-Oh fan? Like I was trying to. I think I was talking to my wife actually, and she's shouting at me. She's like, "Oh, your binders are all over the place. You need a place for them." And I tried to explain to her like an expensive card. I think I got like an iGas Lightning Storm. I was like, "Oh, this was close to £100."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Sell it." I was like, "What? Why?" She's like, "Sell it. We could go get some shopping." I was like, "No, this is not for sale." She's like, "Well, why have you just got it in your binder?" And then I had to just give her a hug and just go and have a bath. But
it's so hard to argue. Like, same thing with my fiance, right? Like, I tried to explain it to her and she doesn't get it. She's like, "It's just a card," and it's just cardboard. And I'm like, "But it's different. Like, you know, it's different. It's not just cardboard."
See, my wife used to be like that, innit? But then my wife got really into Lego.
There you
now
go.
she gets it. Now she gets it.
Once you get into a hobby, not Yu-Gi-Oh, like, it doesn't have to be Yu-Gi-Oh, but once you get into any hobby, you realize like hobbies are not cheap. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. One interesting thing though, and it's what I've been playing a lot of One Piece recently, is the Bandai games are really, really cost effective to get into and to play in general. Like the One Piece pricing is pretty amazing. The boxes have pretty good pull rates, everything, which is really interesting. And it's definitely something I'd recommend for people. Like if you're looking for an alternative to Yu-Gi-Oh.
I will say get into that now, because once the game gets bigger, that's when I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh, if you think about Yu-Gi-Oh, like I remember in the GX boxes or like that era, like you used to be guaranteed 2 ultis a box. Right, so like with the ultis that we see now and are like, yo, these are hundreds of dollars. That was just a regular ulti back in DD Crow. Like DD Crow is a rare ulti. Back in the day, people used to throw that out. They're like, I don't want rare ultis. I'm trying to get ultra ultis, you know. And then now DD Crow's what, $200 ultis or something like that. So like,
I think it'll be the same with the Disney trading card game as well. Like that Lorcana stuff. That's going to be
massive.
Disney one.
Yeah, it's coming out like in a couple of weeks, I think. Yeah, it's going to be printing money. That is like anyone who's big on Disney, like just buy some of that and then just leave it somewhere for 15 years. Financial advice.
Somebody put me on that as well because like Pokemon was a similar thing. Like I had a few Pokemon cards and I think I just bent them. Like I was so naive. And
as you're doing it,
I'm not gonna lie. One of them was a Charizard, and like I just kicked myself. I kick myself every day because that's a car.
Oh yeah.
That can enable me to like live like it was crazy, but yeah, I'm definitely looking into the Disney one just because.
Bro, but you know what's crazy about saying that is you can say things like that, like, yo, that Charizard would have got me a car, that Charizard would have got me this, but I know for a fact if you had it right now, you wouldn't move it.
Yeah,
I know for a fact if he had it right now, it's in his binder, it's not going nowhere. Like, cause I'm like that too, cause I'm like that too. Like, if I sold like half my stuff, like I could put like money down on like, you know, things I need, but I'm like, but then I won't have the card. But then I'll have to get the card again. You know, like, that's a lot. What do I really value here?
Yeah, that's literally it. Yeah. And I think that's one thing that I think is quite cool. Again, I was saying this to someone yesterday about the collector's thing. I actually think it's quite cool that like you can have like these cards that are worth so much, but it's like it's still got that inherent value to yourself as well. That it's like, I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna hold on to it. And like sometimes it is cool to look through people's binders and see like how they just have like a whole binder full of like this specific card because that's like the goal for their collection, or they have like every single ulti or whatever. I think that's quite cool. So yeah, it's a big thing. Maybe one day I'll get into the collecting game. I don't take care of my cards.
No. Stay away from it.
Yeah.
The thing is, I beat up my cards. Like right now, there's some ulti Albaz just sitting sleeveless on my desk, like just chilling. Yeah.
I think it's time. We move into this last topic before I get really angry at you.
Yeah. So, how familiar are you with the subreddit called "Am I the Arsehole Spanker"?
I am not familiar with that at all.
Okay, lovely. So the way it works is this subreddit, people will come and tell stories, and then you'll gauge as to whether you think they're the arsehole or not in the story. Essentially. Okay. So this one is called "Am I the Arsehole for asking my ex-boyfriend to be my best man?" So yeah, so let me go into the story.
Automatically say yes, but yeah. Yeah, I gotta read the story.
This is deep.
So the person telling the story is a 27-year-old man, and so he says, "I'm going to be marrying the love of my life, who's a 30-year-old woman, and we've been together for 4 years. Since I popped the question, we've been planning. One of the first things we decided was our bridal party, and we had no issues with each other's choices. My fiance recently found out that I used to date my best man and is furious I never told her he was my ex, and I had not only invited him, but I wanted him in the bridal party. I just forgot to tell her, apparently. That's what he's saying. And we were together for we were together for less than a month. It wasn't that different from how we are now, except we made out and had sex sometimes. He was my friend for years before we dated and years after. I don't think it classes him as an ex, and I don't think it should mean he's excluded from my wedding, but my fiance is adamant that it's disrespectful to her and that it's her wedding, so she should get a say. I don't want to exclude him, but I knew she would react like this, so I might have just invited him as a guest. So am I the arsehole for having him as my best man?
Spanko, you're the guest, my friend, to go through.
I don't know, man. That's tough. I'll be honest, like that is a pretty big thing. That you probably would want your significant other to know. So I can definitely. It's definitely justifiable that she's mad. She's upset. That's definitely for sure. I guess if he had it with like, you know, innocent, like he was innocent in terms of like his intent with it. I guess he's not at. Yo, that's tough, bro. Like, I don't know, bro. Part of it is like if he didn't think it was that serious, maybe that's part of why he wasn't thinking of it. And so, but I feel like, you know, I feel like sometimes you have to put your significant other first, because this is a person at the end of the day, like your friends are your friends, everything, I get it. But I think your significant other is a person you're going to be spending the rest of your life with. So, yeah. Wait, so did he not change? Did he not invite him?
In this, he hasn't decided. So it's like he's asking people.
If he should or shouldn't. Yeah, my answer would be I wouldn't. Just because. But then again, like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, that's not that great. No, I wouldn't. I think if my fiance, out of respect for my fiance, I'm getting married, right? So for me, I'm getting married.
Yeah.
I think out of respect for my fiance, if she asked me like, yo, I don't like this person for XXX reasons or this or that, I feel like I would have that conversation, and then I would probably respect her feelings, because I would expect the same for me. Like that. So I think that's where my biggest thing is. I feel like if I had a problem with it, I would kind of expect you to be understanding of me. So I feel like if you're not understanding of her feelings in this case, in the future, not to say that in the future she's going to do it as like revenge or kind of like, yo, you didn't get me here, so I'm not going to get you here. But it's more like, it comes down to you treat people how you want to be treated kind of thing. But at the same time, it's like, if you expect a certain thing, then you should be also giving that certain thing. So yeah, in this case, I feel like for me particularly, I wouldn't like that, so I feel like if she asked me not to, I wouldn't. There you go, that's my answer.
That's a good answer.
What do you think,
Andre? I can see something cooking up there, bro.
So objectively, he's an arsehole, and the reason I say this is because if he doesn't see it as a problem, it doesn't mean that it's not a problem.
Agreed.
Because
that's facts.
If he's not taking it into consideration, like, he's not being empathetic about it, so it might not be a problem to him. And like me personally, there's a lot of things that I don't see as a problem. Like, I will come in and I will just like throw my dirty clothes on the floor and then put them in the wash later on, whereas my wife will come in and be like, get your clothes off the floor, like, it's a problem. Do you know what I mean? So I have to understand that about her, and for that reason we make a compromise. Instead, I'll throw the clothes in the room and shut the door, because then she won't see them. but and this is where I'm going with it. Like, if he's just dropping it now, and there's a little bit of history behind it, of course she's gonna be feeling away. So yeah, you can't just be like, oh yeah, we used to make out, like, we've had a few interactions in the past, so yeah, it's gonna be the best man, and then think that's gonna fly. Like, nah. And if it was me, like you said, if it was me, I'd just be like, well, that's not happening, because just no. Do you know what I mean? So that's just my stance on it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think he's an arsehole for the one reason. How the fuck do you forget to tell your wife that you shagged your best friend?
I'm not falling for it. It's a lie.
Yeah, he's on crud, man. Like, I'm assuming that the wife knows that, like, he's not fully straight. So if the wife didn't even know that he wasn't fully straight in the first place, that's a whole different kind of madness.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's a pretty big conversation. Like that.
Oh yeah.
I feel like when you get in a relationship to begin with, that should be brought up. Like, X, not X, all that stuff aside, I feel like you should talk about.
Yeah, you should know like what your partner's sexuality is. Like,
exactly. Yeah, I agree.
But I'm running very much so on the side of Andre and Spanko here. Like, I am married as well. I know that if my wife said to me, "Oh, by the way, I shagged my best friend and I wanted to be the maid of honor," I'd be like, that's a bit mad. So it's a bit mad. But aversely, I would not go to her and be like, oh, you know, like, my best man over there, yeah, I used to give him the pipe. Because she'd be like, what the fuck? Yeah, he's an arsehole.
It's out of nowhere, right? Like, it's out of nowhere. It's not like I told you this like when we first met or whatever. It's like, I agree.
No, he's an arsehole, man. Just don't do it, innit? Like, trust me. Because if, like, and anyone who is has been married or, like, will know, if the wife's not happy, the wedding's not going to be good.
Yeah.
Wise words. Absolutely saying, Andrew.
So, funnily enough, my best mate was in a situation similar to this. It's good he doesn't watch the podcast, and none of you guys know him, so I can say what I want, and no one will know who I'm talking about. But
Okay.
Basically, yeah, he wanted to invite one of his exes. It wasn't even to be his best man. It was his female ex, and he wanted to invite her to the wedding, and he was really stressed about it. He was like, he feels like his wife would be upset. And guys, if the blasting I gave him, I was so livid at him. I was like, what are you talking about? So what kind of stupid, like, why? I was like, why does she need to be at your wedding? I was like, it doesn't even make sense. I was like, what are you talking about? You're committed to this new person, and you've now said you want to bring this person, and you're like, I'm worried she'll be upset. And I was like, shut up. I was like, what you said? Like, I was so vexed at him. I really shouted him. I was like, if you invite her, I was like, genuinely, if you invite her, bro, I'll beat you up. Yeah, I wouldn't stand for it.
Yo, this guy said, I'm worried my wife's gonna be upset. Like, bro, I'm upset.
I'm angry at you. I was like, of course she should be upset. It's like, why does she need to be there? I was like, what does this person bring to the wedding that someone else doesn't? I was like, she doesn't even, like, I've said it before. I'm not even really an advocate of having close relationships with exes and stuff. I'm not even a person who believes in that kind of thing in general. But it's like, even to come to your wedding, it's like, why? It's not about your ex and you. And so even to ask your ex-boyfriend to be your best man, I don't believe you that you forgot. Like, after you said you had sex, you remember the sex that you used to have, and you're saying you forgot. You're lying, bro. So yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't have sympathy for this guy. He's an asshole. And yeah. Yeah, it's just it gets on my nerves. I remember we were walking down. It's like my friend was telling me the story, and it's like the whole walk from like our house to Sainsbury's. I was just shouting at him, and I was just telling him, "It's like you're a fool, bro. This is unacceptable." So yeah, I think he's an asshole too, and yeah, he's lying as well. He definitely remembers. He just, I don't know, thought he could get away with it. Maybe I would say as well though. Maybe he was scared that because I don't think he told his wife just because he said. She's furious. I never told her he was my ex, and I feel as though she, like, I don't know. In my head, it's like that feels like part of why she's probably furious because, like, also you're into guys as well. Like, I didn't know this, so I feel like.
But she might have known this. To be fair,
she may have known, but I have a feeling. I mean, he probably forgot that as well.
Even that aside, even if it wasn't like another guy, even if it was like a girl, doesn't matter what it is. Like if I'm still best friends, guy or girl, with my ex, and then like let's say I'm telling my fiance, my wife, whatever, that I'm going to hang out with my best friend. My best friend, like it's a female or a male, doesn't matter what it is. At the end of the day, like I feel like you would remember if you were hooking up with your
you don't just forget.
Yeah, nah, he's a fuckboy. Plain and simple.
I didn't even think. I can't lie. I didn't even think about that side as well. That the other thing as well is that especially because again, it's like if it was a girl and you're constantly saying I'm gonna go hang around with this girl, your wife might have a problem with that already. But if it's a guy and your wife doesn't know that you're bisexual, and then you're constantly saying I want to go and hang out with this person as well, and then I find out down the line that as your wife, you and this person used to have sex.
Do you know how many madnesses that's gonna put in your head,
bro? Yeah. Whoa! So I didn't even think of it from that, but that as well, it's mad. It's mad. Yeah.
That was a good segment, bro. That was a good segment. That was a fun segment.
Definitely, yeah. We're gonna wrap it up there. Spanker, you've been such an awesome guest, bro.
Thank you so much, bro.
Have you got any shout outs or anything you'd like to say before we close off the show?
I ain't got no shout outs. Make sure to like and subscribe to everyone over here. We're all on the come up. We're all on the grind. It was fun. It was fun. Thank you for having me. This is definitely like a different kind of podcast. It's different vibes. I like it. If you guys want me on again, let me know. I'm always down.
100%.
Yeah, we need to get people back. I feel like anyway, we'll talk.
Yeah,
we need to. We definitely tell you back on this.
We might discuss this in the post show if it happens.
Yeah.
Spotify exclusive.
Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.